Welcome back to another episode of Darius's Budget Garage. Today I am going to be going through plumbing my electric water pump. I feel like a big idiot because I had the thing plumbed wrong. Probably looking in the wrong place, but it was really hard for me to figure out how to plumb this thing properly. Of course, it didn't come with instructions, and instructions seemed to be impossible to find. We'll start with where I went wrong. So where I went wrong is this water pump has one -12 port here and another -12 port here. And what I didn't notice initially, this port down here, which you can't really see from here, it had a plug in it. My interpretation of that plug was that it was a plug, and it seemed like it was part of the electric motor, so it made perfect sense. What I've been doing is I've been starting this car and thinking I've had an air bubble or something. Turns out I haven't had an air bubble. I just had the friggin' thing plumbed wrong. That little port down there is actually the inlet, and these ports up here are both outlets. So that has been a bit of a challenge also, trying to figure out where to put two outlets and trying to figure that out. I don't have a heater core. This is a street car, but it's a race car essentially. And so anyways, I finally got it figured out. Inlet, outlet, blah, 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 blah. So today we're gonna be going through the process of getting this thing hooked up the right way, and hopefully my car quits overheating, because that'd be friggin' awesome, right? So yeah, I used to get really excited about new parts, and I guess I still do get excited about new parts, but man, my wallet's getting tired of new parts. I just need this project to get done. So here we are. So yeah, I've got this little guy here. I'm looking inside, and it looks like I can open that up to make it flow a little more, because yeah, I've got my 3/4 inlets and my 3/4 out. That's just not gonna flow enough water, I don't believe. So anyways, yeah, I think we're gonna lop this guy off, weld on this piece of aluminum here, which actually fits pretty well around the end. You're gonna have minimal gaps to fill. And yeah, that's gonna be that. This is a hose coupler I had before with my old routing. Took this little piece of 1.25 or 1.5 aluminum tube, ran a little bead around the end to help hold the hose on so it doesn't blow off. Anyways, repurposing that. It's gonna be great. Then I'll get into these 12-amp fittings. Probably just gonna run a couple 90s off my water pump. And yeah, over in the direction of where my radiator outlet is. So I've got this Y block. I chopped it off. I poked a bigger hole in the end. We're probably running about a 1-inch hole now, which is about as good as it's gonna get because this block isn't any wider. And then I've taken my old homemade coupler to repurpose it. We're gonna stick him on there. But anyways, I'm gonna make the two as one, and then we can get to making lines, threading in fittings. Hopefully this is a simple job, and hopefully there's some video out there now that will be just plain and clear what you got to do to make an electric water pump work and plumb it right. Because I'm not kidding you. I was freaking struggling to figure out how to plumb this thing right, obviously, or I would have just done it right the first time. Anyways, and I need the hood. And make sure it looks like I kind of want it to look. And let's tag it. Now we'll see what we think. There, much straighter. Looks good. All right, well, this is the part where I make this thing whole, and of course it won't leak. So I chose to do that little hot rod first. It's hot, so I want to give it time to cool down. And we're gonna get on to making, well, building hose is what we're gonna get on to building. So I got this little O-ring fitting, and the only thing that'll fit is a crescent wrench because it's like 1.5 inches on the wrench flats. So we'll see if we can get this guy tight. It should seal, it's an O-ring. It doesn't have to be extremely tight. And I'm hoping that my hose will go on around this thing too. God, I might have to use, yep. Gonna have to use channel locks on that guy. There's no way I'm gonna get a wrench on that. I hate doing this on nice shiny aluminum parts, but I don't know what else to do.
A few moments later.
Man, this is really hard to get at. It would have been nice to have this fitting before I started, or put this water pump back on. But it's life. So I've got my 90-degree fittings on here. Obviously, I wish I had a little bit steeper of a radius, like a freaking 270 or a 135 or something. But I think the hose will make this corner here. It's really hard to see. I've got wiring in the way, but yeah, that thing kind of points right at the throttle body, but it'll make the corner. And then this side over here, we'll run him straight down. It's really friggin' hot right now. But I'll put this block right here, and then I have a little 90 elbow for my old setup that'll probably go right about there, and that's burning me. So onward with the struggle. I'm gonna make some hoses up, or at least half of some hoses up, and yep, stay with me. So here we go, pull this fitting apart. Good thing about this CPE hose is it's super easy to work with compared to the PFTE stuff where it's like a finger stabber and whatever. They tape the crap out of the sand. I kind of frayed it getting the tape off, but I think it'll still go in the fitting just fine. So, shove this guy together. The only hard part about this hose is shoving it into the fitting. But, it's not that bad. Shove my table around. I don't have a heavy enough table. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Now, I've got my hose. It's tight to the step inside there. Then what I've found is I just spit on it a little bit. It works in a lot of facets in life. Anyways, start threading this guy in. You gotta hold it tight so you don't shove the hose back out the receiving part of the fitting. And boom, we're going together. I'm gonna put this guy in the vise, hold the hose on bottom, and find the right wrench for this guy, and tighten it up. All right, well, that's how you make radiator hoses in about, CPE hoses in about 30 seconds. You just watch some other dude do it on his time lapse. So anyways, threading this guy on here. Voila. He's snugged up. And boom, I got those guys right there. Now, we thread it onto my union block or whatever, Y block. All right, and then we'll get our little 90 that I already have. Super duper convenient. Bam, shove him on there, shove him on there, and we got a cooling system. Boom, throw some hose clamps on that guy, and we're cooling. So there we go. We're gonna put some water in this thing, and hopefully I have no leaks, and hopefully I can let this thing idle. It'll keep temperature, and we can get somewhere on the tuning finally. Yep, there, it thinks it's full for now. So there we have it. Obviously I just ran a regular radiator hose from the bottom outlet to the inlet here. Bought this dash 16 fitting. That is in fact on the side of the motor not a plug, that's actually the inlet. I feel like an idiot, but I'm used to feeling like an idiot. It happens all the time. And then, yeah, got my 12AN 90 here, hose running across, another 12AN 90, hose running down. Built this union here. I hate how this hose clamp looks hanging up. Maybe I'll turn that so it looks cleaner. Anyways, yeah, 2-to-1 union. Did a piece of 1.25 inch or 1.5 inch tube, pipe, whatever it is. Boom, 90 into the radiator. This baby's gonna run cool. So hopefully this helped out for the people out there that are like me and we're trying to figure out what the two inlets were and wondering why there was a plug in the motor. Well, hopefully this was informative for everybody. Check it out. We're gonna be making some burnouts and pop wheelies real friggin' soon. See you guys next time. Hey, don't forget, like, maybe subscribe, maybe tell your friends, maybe tell your enemies. I don't know. We're doing stuff over here, and I want you guys along for the ride. See ya.